and welcome to Roll with Advantage.
That was funny.
Very excited. Happy Pride Month, everybody. I think that this will go up right at the end of Pride Month, be uploaded. But
I mean, we're recording and we can't start this normally.
So let's go ahead and roll the intro and dive in.
I'd like to welcome you to the world of Evrand.
The Seekers of Insomnia.
I told you to leave me alone. I could do this.
I wanted us to live and I wanted him dead.
I am so happy to see you.
Every party needs a pooper.
Raise the blade!
John, are you having fun?
When the session's over, or tomorrow.
Hello,
One of
everybody.
the day.
We're back. Take it away, John.
Welcome back to the Tales of Evrand session. I never have it up. 88, or I know this one. Book 9, Chapter 2.
You said you know that, but that didn't sound very confident.
Two.
It is
Two.
2.
It is 2 because 1 was the wedding.
I knew
before we
that.
dive in, but before we dive into the game, as always, we have a player. Joe, read the summary. Joe, read the summary.
You got it, brother. Book 9, Chapter 1, New Beginnings. With the return of Sahanin, we finally feel a sense of safety. The Divine Gate is now stronger, offering a much-needed reprieve from our grueling fight. We all decided to rest. Yrsa goes for a walk and notices that some of the plants have started to wilt and die. Concerned, she attempts to speak with them and hears a divine voice. It's Melora, the goddess of nature. Melora reveals that the plants are dying and there is a widespread death coming. Despite the grim news, she expresses her gratitude for Sahanin's return to the divine plane, and then leaves Yrsa to her night of restoring life to the flowers in the grove outside the keep. Meanwhile, Enid seeks out Basil to learn about praying and the gods. Guided by moonlight, Enid begins to pray and connects with Sahanin. She swears a holy vow, becoming a cleric of the moon and the first champion of a new age. Moved by the day's events and their deepening love, Basil and Enid decided to marry the next day. Basil wants her mother to be present, but is scared to reach out. With Enid's encouragement, she does, and they make amends. The Raven Queen agrees to attend the wedding. Woohoo. That night, as Basil sleeps, Gideon appears in her dream to ask her and the Raven Queen how to kill a god. Now, the Raven Queen is initially offended, thinking Gideon might have an ulterior motive, but she still provides the information, confident that Demogorgon not being a true god can be defeated. By removing his tethers, we can weaken him and strike him down in the abyss for good. The next morning, the wedding planning begins. Gideon and Rian prep the beach, while Enid, Yrsa, Basil, and Gak go shopping for dresses and outfits. Invitations are sent out, with Basil and Gak delivering them personally. Rian and Gideon share a heartfelt conversation about family and their gratitude for surviving the previous day's events. Rian and Enid reflect on their lives, filled with hardship, but also love and life. The wedding commences as a night of love, life, happiness, and cheer. With Gideon officiating, Basil and Enid exchange vows and are pronounced married. It is a night of true rest and relaxation, much needed after the intense events they all had endured. Finn.
All right, that's the session. Thank you so much, Joe. See you guys next week. Diving back, diving back into the game. as all of you are surrounded by your close friends on the beach. All of you partake in the food and dance and drink as the night goes on and on, celebrating the union between Enid and Basil. And just to put this out there, Enid and Basil, you do have a new feature added to your sheets, because you're married now.
Married.
And it is a very nice couple hours of reprieve and relaxation and fun. The beach party that you never had.
Beach episode.
The night goes on and on. And as some of you are sitting down eating, Rien, Yursa, as you sit next to each other and kind of just watching everyone around, and Gideon as well, as Basil and Enid are dancing. Gak, I assume you are either dancing or off doing something very fun.
Yeah.
There is a slight pop behind the three sitting at the table.
Well, this is just cute. Hello again, Leanne, yourself, Gideon.
As you kind of turn around and you see a very familiar demon lord, Gratz.
Is that important?
You cut out.
Oh, my whole headset's. Hello?
There you go.
Hi.
Oh, strange. Okay. I mean, this is so disrespectful and so rude. So, like, Yursa's eyes just kind of narrow, and she says, "Is there a reason you are disrupting us on such an important day?"
Oh, I do not mean to disrupt. I mean to, well, congratulate. And I bring information. Our team to it.
Well, then give us your information and you can go. Thank you.
You're not going to invite me to partake?
No,
Very rude. But
I think it's rude of you to show up unannounced. Could have at least sent a message first. Hey, do you mind if I stop by? No, you just showed up. So please give us your information and you can leave.
I do apologize. I should have sent a message.
You should have.
Next time.
Yeah, next time.
First,
Your
I want,
turn. Oops, sorry, go continue.
I want to congratulate all of you. I see that the two lovebirds are having a great time dancing. I want to congratulate all of you for, well, stopping Demogorgon. That was no small task, and you have set them back quite heavily in their plan. I bring good news. Demogorgon is confused, stunned, even. Nothing has gone awry until now. So congratulations. Now, again, I do not want no one celebrating. I figured I'd give you this information. As you probably know after what you did, you are no longer. Demogorgon is going to send people after you, send demons. You are much more of a target than you have ever been. But you know this. Of course you know this. You are very smart, all of you. But you do not. Is his next plan, which I thought it would be to attack my, to potentially try to kill me and try to take my ability powers. Seems that he's shifted focus towards you all. Seems as though he is growing his army and plans to attack gates that are already open. Don't know exactly where they are in the Prime Imperial. I know there are 3. I don't know when this will happen. Week, month, tomorrow. Probably not. But I thought you'd be aware that an attack on the Prime Material is in his plans.
Anything else?
Gratz just stares at you, Ryan. Just a smile on his face.
So slow. So stern. You protect all of them. I understand.
You're wrong. I'm stern when
Why?
I need to be. I don't need to protect them. They are all capable of protecting themselves.
Oh, I know. Out of all of them, well, you're probably the one who's the most. But you're the one who's talking.
Thank you so much for
There
your
we go.
wonderful kindness. Yersa kind of puts a hand on Rian. It really, really is appreciated. And since you're so forthcoming with so much information, I mean, you know so much, surely you'd know which of these gates he'd plan on targeting first. Even if you're only aware of a few.
No, it's obvious he doesn't. I mean, when the Demogorgon was going to come and attack him, the first thing he did was he turned tail and he ran to us to try and help. Isn't that right? You needed us to protect you.
In a way, yes, I did.
He steps closer.
But let's not forget. Demogorgon is a threat to me. All of you are ant. You are not a threat to me. Even though you decide to use big words and try to be stern, you are standing in front of a prince. A demon lord. Yes, I might not possess the abilities of Demogorgon now, but there's a reason Demogorgon feared me before. So I offer you information. I am talking. I offer you information. I offer to save your home, to save the Prime Material, and in return to save my home. It's a mutual agreement. I've not come to you to be rude. Yes, I've come here during this event. But I don't get many chances. Because you all return Saturday, traversing the plains for these few next days has been easier. So I have to take my chances. Do not talk to me as the way you have been doing.
Please forgive us. We weren't trying to be rude. It is our friend's wedding night. As you can see and as you understand, things have been very tense, and it wasn't meant to be disrespectful. We just really need any information that you could give us, which you've already given, and we are very, very grateful for it. My only question was to know if you had any idea. You are a great demon lord who's very knowledgeable, so perhaps you had a guess, a very well-educated guess as to where he would target first. Ryan did not mean to be disrespectful either. Again, these are like daughters to him, and this is a very special occasion. It's not easy to have world-ending conversations at such a dinner. And Yrsa smiles very sweetly.
Yeah, you see after his small speech that his hair was kind of starting to stand up, and there was this almost like unnatural wind around him, and it kind of like subsides, and he kind of rights his coat and says, and gives a big smile and says,
I appreciate the work, and I apologize for losing my patience. I do not know where you will attack them first, but because you are so nice, I will find out.
Thank
That is
you.
what I can offer you. And I hope that we can meet on better. Next time we do. And that we can be more civil.
and he looks towards Rian
Mhm.
and smiles.
Of course. And hopefully when this business ends, we only need to slay one prince of the abyss, not two. Have a good evening.
Well, technicality you are saying too. I bid all of you farewell and give my regards. The happy couple.
And he steps back, and you see he kind of dissolves into the sand and then disappears.
Right after it disappears, I want a divine sense.
Okay. How long does it last?
I believe it's just instantaneously. Yeah. It's just 6 seconds.
I'd say your divine sense is, it's pretty strong. You're level 13.
Mhm.
You divine sense, and it is there for about 3 seconds, 4 seconds, and then it dissipates.
Well, he likes to talk a big game, but if he doesn't know where Demogorgon is going to attack next, then he's an idiot.
Rian.
There are
You-
3 gates left, correct?
Is that right, John? Because there's, like, obviously Lunaria, Mechanus, Water Place.
Well, just to be clear, he was talking about the rifts to the abyss.
Oh. Oh.
To which you knew there were 2.
Oh. Okay. Thank you. Well, Yrsa is going to finish her thought, and she's going to say, Rian, you know that you catch more flies with honey than vinegar, right?
I wish we were talking about flies, Yrsa.
But we are. You sat here and you told him how little he was. So, is he not a fly? By being kind to him, he is going to give us more information.
Did you know that there are certain kinds of centipedes, Yrsa, that can kill a prey 3 times their size?
Are you quoting Overwatch at me right fucking now? How dare you quote my
your character. I'm glad
that
you.
I
I'm
fucking
glad you
played?
recognize that
Get
because
the
it's
fuck outta
applicable.
here.
It's
Okay.
applicable.
Cue the Shia LaBeouf meme in the theater.
Anyway, sorry.
Could have rolled with it.
I couldn't. I was just being laugh because I hate that line. It's so
I know
annoying
you
when
said
she
you
says
said it a couple. It was a risk, you know. I played
Anyway.
Russian roulette with it, and I lost. So
Bang.
Aw. She looks at you and she raises an eyebrow.
I
see what you're
understand,
saying.
and I see what you're saying. Next time he undoubtedly shows his face, I'll let you do the talking. I just
What
couldn't.
I'm saying is we need to choose whether it is good to smile and listen or be, as you said, a centipede and sting when the time is right. Right now, he's giving us information. Information we have no other way of getting. It'd be wrong to upset him.
I will say this, Basil and Gak would have seen like the tail end of this because of your perceptions, your passives. So you can choose to do with that information as you will, but you did see Gratz there for a couple seconds, and then he left.
Gak would have immediately started walking over.
Regardless of how we feel about him, we have too many problems and enough enemies as it is. There's no sense in making him one of ours right now. If he's a problem later, he's a problem later, but he doesn't have to be one right now.
I agree.
And I don't think, regardless of what we say, he would be. Because he knows that he can't kill Demogorgon. Only we can.
Yrsa would quickly fill Gak in on what just happened. Just so he's caught up.
Thank you.
And kind of like finishing her thought towards Gak, she would just say, in agreeing with what Gideon said, I don't think that he's going to be a problem anytime soon. I think his talk is a lot bigger than what he can actually back up.
I know there's people sometimes that they won't. I mean, we've dealt with people like this already, but there's people who won't be a problem for you while you are still you could still do stuff for them. So he sees us as someone who could help him. So he won't be a problem now until he doesn't think we could help anymore.
Exactly. And right now, his problem is Demogorgon, and we're the only ones who can do anything about it.
Do you guys think there's another group of 6 people, like, somewhere else in the world that are, like really stepping up or something? Or is it really just us? Because that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
I think we would have heard about them by now.
I think yeah. I hear in stories of other worlds there are more than one group, but not this one, I think. I think due to time limitations, it's just this group.
That makes sense. It'd be hard to keep track of all of that. Like,
when I read those books, Gak, it was really hard. That's why I had to drop the 3rd book, because I could only focus on the 2.
Yeah, you shouldn't try to be reading 3 books.
Sounds really unfortunate, Rian.
It was really sad. It was great. Just introduced 2 new characters. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't think we should be disturbing Basil and Enid on their wedding night for something very silly.
No.
And something we can talk more about tomorrow.
Silly indeed.
I think Gak is gonna look over at Basil, because did he notice that Basil also noticed?
I would say yeah. Isn't Gak's passive perception like 24?
It's 25.
Yeah, you would notice.
Yeah. And Gak's just gonna kind of look at Basil and see that she hasn't come over yet, and he'll just
But
turn back to the
did
group.
she notice him noticing her, though?
Oh, okay.
They're just staring at each other.
I mean, Basil's passive perception is 20, so probably.
Yeah, Gak wasn't being subtle.
Yeah. She's probably like, huh. This is my night. Whatever.
Yeah, if she looks over, yours is just gonna give her a really big thumbs up and a really cheeky smile. Like, it's okay. Don't worry.
I think Basil would notice that Yrsa's trying to force that, but she's like, nothing can stop me from not enjoying this night.
Good.
I will just ignore everything. And pay attention to my wife.
My passive perception is 17. Does she notice that Basil notices? Probably not. He's too happy.
John's not entertaining this anymore.
Are you sure? It'd be kind of funny.
Nope. Sorry, I was watching Bella roll around in her crib.
Oh.
Okay. So, is there anything anybody else wants to do before the night is over?
Not I.
Not particularly.
All right.
Nerp.
No.
All right.
No,
So,
Ron, you can't.
There has to be
Ron,
another
stop
way.
Snape or not!
Oh my gosh.
there has to be another way.
You're free to check the king.
Let's do the whole bit.
In completely different orders.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Now we play. Now.
So,
I'm done now.
as the night ends, everyone going to their respective rooms for the night. Where do Enid and Basil end up? This is
That's kind of private.
No,
I was
it makes
I was gonna be like, do you want to know?
whose
more?
room?
Like...
Whose room? That's what I'm asking.
Probably Basil's, unless someone got us a hotel.
Nope. All right, that's all I need to know.
Yes, Basil's.
Okay.
What's that
So-
face, Joe? You got something to say?
All of you find rest and wake up the next morning. It's no longer dark, but you just give me a goddamn second.
We all woke up real early. Moon's still
It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
out. Perfect time to start the day.
Actually, the moon is still out. If you remember, you notice that it's probably going to be like this for a little bit. Now that Sahanin has returned. But all of you wake up the next morning, head down for breakfast, and you sit at the table as the cook brings you all food. The guards greet all of you. The housekeepers greet all of you. You see that the keep is actually cleaned up at this point in the morning. You guys have pretty good staff.
Pay them
but yeah,
pretty well.
yeah. You sit at the table as you normally do every morning. Floor is all yours.
I think that Yrsa would kind of start the conversation by just explaining to Basil and Enid what exactly happened last night, just so that everybody's on the same page about what was said. But yeah.
Cool.
Yee. I don't know if anybody has any suggestions on what our next move should be. I'm hoping he will come back with information that's tangible. Oh, yes, Gideon.
Well, you can finish your thought, but I do have thoughts of my own. You just asked if anyone had anything to... Oh, wait, sorry.
No, please, go ahead.
Well, Basil and I spoke to the Raven Queen a little bit ago. And she spoke of many things, but there's a few things that she told of us that I think we should pursue. One, and he looks over to Basil to make sure, like, we're good sharing this, right? Like,
Yeah, she gives like a nod of approval.
we know where the vestige of the Raven Queen on the material plane is located. It'll take some time to head there, but we have a confirmed location. And a gift to be bestowed by a god is no laughing matter by any means. While we don't know what it does, it'll certainly strengthen Basil a great deal. I think that we should spend some of our time looking for some of the other vestiges as well. I mean, with us we have Basil as a champion of the Raven Queen, Enid now for Sahanin, Yrsa for Melora, and Gak for Ayun. We know the gods are limited in what they can do, but the vestiges are the closest thing that we can use against Demogorgon without them being there directly, which they're unable to do. We have some favors that we can call in. I believe if we speak to the Queen, we might be able to employ the Mages Guild, historians, anyone who can help us look into where these vestiges might be, legends, lore, anything. Along with that, there's also a forge in the White Crest Mountains. White Crest, right? Is that the name?
Yeah.
The Raven Queen suggested that we might be able to utilize it to forge something that could help us against Demogorgon. Something powerful enough to bind him or harm him in some way. I know that there's much going on with the Demogorgon strategy, but at the end of the day, it's going to be us against him. And as we saw in our last fight, we're not ready yet. And I think we need to do what we can to make sure that we are.
Okay. I think that's a good plan. My only concern is, well, kind of looking at Rian. Maybe we could have some of the Order of the White Lotus at those two locations that are leading to the abyss. I would just hate for us to be pursuing this and somewhere is attacked without any warning or something to hold his forces back.
Quick Ryan question. Do we know where any of those rifts are to the abyss?
Yeah, 2 of them.
Can I get a reminder?
It should be Dragon's Reach, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Crest Basin.
Crest Basin, yeah.
Can I see that on the map by chance?
Yeah, if you look at the map, there's a couple. Actually, yeah, 2 of they're both circled.
Sorry, it put me over in Siri.
Wait, where can we get the map on this new layout?
If you go up to the top by the anvil, there's a little drop-down menu.
Yeah, it took me a second to find it.
I'm goofy. Thank you.
You're very wonderful.
Thank you.
I mean, still kind of looking at Brienne. Is it possible to get people there? Is what she was basically asking.
Yeah, Rian would respond. He'd say, "It's possible, but these would be scouts. They would be there to let us know if forces do start to come through. Judging from what happened when, the sludge was attacked and Eldar, they're not going to stop anything, but they can at least give us a heads up, and perhaps we can communicate it with the nearest civilization, and that's going on."
Yeah, that would at least put my mind at some sense of peace.
I can send a letter to Sayori and let her know.
How do we all feel about that? Yours kind of looks across the table.
I think it's a good idea. I think Gideon's idea is a good idea. I think we need to figure out how to search for these vestiges, maybe in an expedited way. Because I agree, we need more against him, but like you guys said, the dude said it could be tomorrow. So we need to try and be ready as fast as possible.
I agree.
Oh, was that all, Rachel? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that was it.
Oh. Well, along with calling in favors from the Queen, perhaps the 3 of you looking to Enid, Gak, and Yursa could try to commune with your respective god. I know the gods expect us to put in work, but I think if there's any doubt to our commitment at this point, I don't know what will convince them. But at least that way we're checking under everything.
It's worth a shot.
Absolutely. I mean, it was only yesterday that I spoke with Melora. I didn't think to ask. Perhaps I should have, but I can reach out again.
This is what we're doing then?
It sounds like it.
Mhm.
I mean, if you and Basil want to start like casting some sendings just to let people know, and like, I still think it's a good idea to get like all hands on deck, but like maybe just us reaching out would be enough.
Yeah.
Gideon
we
would
wanna,
Oh, God.
Like, do we want to meta it?
Yeah, I mean we don't. Yeah,
Okay.
we don't need to.
Yeah.
You know, waste time with the sendings.
Beep
You
boop
want
bop, dial in a prayer.
Yeah, you want to. Well, with the sendings, you want to reach out to Sayori and send people from the White Lotus to Crest Basin and Dragon, right?
And then also communicate with Melora, right? That was the other thing.
Well, the gods.
The
right?
three
it was Melora,
gods.
Ioun, and
Yeah.
was it Sahanin?
Sahanin.
Yeah. So
Gideon
the
would
sendings,
offer to. Oh, sorry. Gideon would offer to fly to Eldon to talk to the Queen to get her aid in whatever way they can.
Okay. So, yeah, sendings are sent to the White Lotus. Is that what were they called? The White Lotus?
It's just the Order of the
No,
Lotus.
the Order
Yeah.
of the Lotus.
Oh,
White
did I
Lotus
say it
is
wrong?
Avatar.
Yeah.
My bad.
For a second, I
No,
was
you're
like,
good, you're good.
they were called White Lotus the whole time? I was
Dude,
like, I don't
fuck,
remember that
I
at
got
all.
Avatar on the brain. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I mean, I didn't correct you because I forgot. The Order of the Lotus. Sayori responds that they will send people there. They have grown in numbers since the last time you guys talked to them, so they do have people that they can send out for these missions. As a quick point of note for the Order of the Lotus, since you are checking in on them, they're kind of becoming. It's not a one-to-one comparison, obviously, but they're almost becoming like the Silent Shields. They're having people that are not only like outward facing like this guild, but they have people that are working for the Order of the Lotus that are undercover, because in some territories like Valamine, they don't want people to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well,
that's good because that was always the goal with the Order of the Lotus, because there was the Eastern Winds mercenary company, and then the Order of the Lotus was meant to be a secret. So
yeah.
Glad that's working out.
Yeah. So they'll send people to Dragon's Reach in Crest Basin. I will let you know that they are going to send people that have magic, so they do have sending, and you are aware of that. You don't know who it will be, but you have a contact that will reach out to you guys if there's something wrong. Furthermore, you reach out to your various gods. Sahanin, you don't get any verbal confirmation. Sahanin's pretty busy at the moment with what's going on.
Busy lady.
Yeah. I would just ask, like, I guess, is there any type of information you're trying to get out from these interactions? They wouldn't be really verbal with any of them. It would be more like a feeling you get from questions you ask, possibly. So I guess we can just kind of quickly go through of like, if any of the three of you have a question for your guide, and then I can give you a yes, no, maybe.
I think Nick still has stepped away for a second, so I don't know if he's back. But so they'll only answer in yes, no, or maybe. They won't give like a sentence thing because you said it's
right.
not
It's more like a feeling kind of thing right now.
Okay.
And you can tell that it's because the gate is strengthening that communication is starting to.
Okay. I think Enid would first ask if the vestige is located in the White Crest Mountains, probably.
For Sahanin?
Yes.
It is no.
No. Then she would like. How many times can I ask a question?
I'd say like 3.
3.
Yeah.
Is it on the moon?
No.
All right, I got one left, guys. What do we think? I don't. Those were my 2.
I mean, it's hard to get this information with yes, no. Go ahead, John.
I will say this as well, just kind of. This is something that Gideon would probably vaguely know from research and everything. The vestiges of divergence are well known, like they're artifacts that people know about. They're not things that are like, oh, we didn't know these existed. Like was a specific time period during the calamity that each god, each prime deity, or at least most of them, gave a special item, a magical weapon or item to their champions to help them fight in the calamity. It's a well-known, documented thing that this is what happened, that each one of these champions were given this sort of very powerful like item. The whereabouts of each, there are rumors on some of them. You can, what I'm trying to say is, I'm kind of going on a tangent. You could go to a library that is well-known to find out
Rumors.
vague directions or even where these things are exactly. Because some of them have been found and are just like out there.
So smarty pants people should go to the library to find the general location, and then we can, once we figure out the general location, we can then go back and ask questions and be like, is it in this location? Is this location dangerous? Can you give me something to help get through the location? Can you give me a key card?
So should we hold off on the
Yeah.
commands then?
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, go ahead and hang up on Sahanine. Call you back later,
Ah.
bestie.
Call you back.
Bye-bye. Mwah.
Sahinine's like, oh, I was about to tell you.
Wait, no!
Cut her off too
Click.
soon.
Shit.
Because I was like, if it ain't the mountains and it ain't the moon, I don't know.
Because if you had an infinite number of questions, let's just go through every place. Is it?
I'd be like, is it on the
Is it in
material
Theosphere?
plane? Is it on the astral plane?
Is
Is
it in
it...
Moorbrook? Is
But
it
they
in
all have to be
Newell?
on the material plane somewhere,
Is it
right?
in this room?
Is
All
the
of
call
them-
coming
all of
from
them-
inside the house?
All of them are on the material plane.
Okay.
And all of them belong to a champion of each of the gods.
Okay.
Who?
Or belonged to?
To the library.
Belong to.
Yeah.
To the
Sorry,
library.
Enid. There's another champion you didn't know about. Sahanine's
the
cheating on you
Fight,
already.
Fight.
That's interesting since she just came back. She's
Well, let's
eaten
get the
already.
lore right. She was there for the calamity and then gone.
Well, there's no way that person's still around.
Well, hey,
They
you never
Oh,
know.
no.
Could
They're
be.
about to not be.
Could be.
Whoa, whoa.
How about you just ask nicely?
Give me this fucking
Was it-
message. Start stabbing him.
There-
But
there's
then
a-
that I was her champion and her only one.
There's people who've been around since the calamity, right? Very few, but wasn't like
Very,
Marathil
very
and
few.
like.
Well, he's a dragon.
Well, yeah, but Dragon could be a champion.
Dragging these pieces of lore that we're gonna go find.
Marathil has not been around since the calamity. Orion has been around since
Yeah,
the calamity.
Marathil's a little baby boy.
Well, yeah, I just meant like dragons and like they're people.
There's probably one old
Um,
elf druid lady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oberyn was around since
Well,
Was, yeah.
was.
was.
Rest in piss, loser.
Whoa,
bozo.
Cries in Ursa.
Okay.
Is there anyone else we've killed that's been around since the calamity?
Are we just on a
Lady
killing
Jim
spree of old people?
Yo. Was Ishna around during the calamity?
Dude, Ishna's been around forever.
Time
Yeah.
immemorial. Yeah, and we killed that bitch.
We did.
I guess every villain's just been around since the calamity or more.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Crazy.
Eldar's been around
Except
since
for
the
Eldar.
calamity. That's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah,
That
we killed
owlbear
him.
from session 1 was from the calamity? Whoa.
They have
Alright.
a lot of it.
Library.
Library.
Come on, read fast, nerds.
Okay, so I guess we'll just yeah. Hold on.
Enid
Text
doesn't
message.
know the Dewey Decimal System.
Gak doesn't know.
Me neither.
Words.
Oh my gosh, Enid and Gak are just vibing in the kids section. Let's go.
All right.
Get in
For
again.
this, because everyone is level 13 and you all are pretty damn smart and your rolls are pretty high, some of you for wisdom and investigation and all that shit, we're just gonna
I'm gonna wink
go
at the
through.
books.
Yeah.
Hey.
You guys are gonna ask me, the god, of which the vestige, and I will tell you what you find out about that one.
In yes, no, or maybe only though.
And yes. What's that spell? Augury. Only gonna talk in augury.
Right.
No. So, you know where one is, in the Lost Temple of the Raven underneath Mirror Lake. That's where vestige of the Raven Queen is. Now, some of these, as you get to, well, I guess you guys are going to Aelden's library, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are not names specific to all of these. Some of them are just known about and what they potentially do, and where they might have been. So I guess we'll start off with, I don't know, ask me one of the gods that you're looking into.
Ioun.
Ioun. Okay.
Ioun.
So, as you are reading, actually, let's go back to.
Jeffrey. Golden.
Where's it at? Oh, I guess it's not there. Okay. This is not the right. I apologize, guys. Okay. So as you get to the Lyceum and start to research about these various vestiges of divergence, you search for Ioun. It is known that the item that Ioun gifted her champion was a orb or dodecahedron type item that almost looked of stained glass and these jewels or these stones that kind of spiraled inside of this item. However, this is one of the vestiges where there are only rumors of where it could be. No one has ever found this vestige, and it has not been found since the calamity. There are many have searched for this artifact, and at the time right now still searching. There are rumors that this vestige may be held by the Sultan of Citra, who holds this artifact for the reason that their nation has become so powerful and gifted with magic. It is known that this item gifts the user with incredible intelligence, with incredible knowledge, and the ability to manipulate knowledge and magic as a whole. And it is rumored that the Sultan has this, and this is why Ciri has become what it is today. However, there are other rumors that there is a small island in the Ashparan archipelago where the free folk live, and there's an island known as Rainbow Isle, which is this amalgamation of an island of everything around it, where every island around it is green and rocky, but this specific island's landscape is almost rainbow in nature, and it has shifted over time into this prismatic landscape. That is the other rumor that you read about and hear about, but there's no confirmations of any of these rumors being true. That's what you gain about Ioun.
Ioun really likes orbs.
Maybe it's like, I don't know, what is that called? A trend? Or
It's like a.
no.
It's like a. That's how you know it's.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
when you see something over and over again and you start to associate it with that thing. It's like iconic. What's the word I'm looking for?
I believe you.
I don't, but thank you. Oh well. Anyway, if it's on the Isle, that sounds like the better option, because
We don't have to take it from somebody.
I
Well,
mean,
we don't have to take it from a big guy.
we could go on a heist.
Oh.
We could go on a heist.
What did you say, Kayla? I'm sorry.
No, it was funny because yours said borrow it, and then you said heist. I was like, oh.
No, that
think-
feels on brand for both of them
Yeah.
to say at the exact same
Yeah,
time.
that's why I was like, oh, that's funny.
Just borrow without asking. Return it later.
Yeah, we could return it.
We can try
we
that.
probably won't though.
That could be like plan A, and then if it doesn't work, we can go steal it.
Okay. So that was Ioun.
Melora.
Melora. This one is known. Well, sorry. It is known for the name. It is known as the Cloak of the Wildheart, a mantle that the champion of Melora wore during the Calamity. And this vestige has never been seen, and again, only rumored. It is said that its power and connection to nature keeps all nature around it in perfect condition over the seasons. It is rumored that this vestige is either hidden deep beneath the evergreen forest, the reason the forest leaves never wilt and die, and fire cannot burn these trees. It is also rumored that it was lost on a distant island filled with prehistoric life and creatures never seen before. It is also said that its presence is the reason that the northern part of Siri stays lush and green, even in the harsh climate. There are 3 possible spaces that the Cloak of the Wildheart could be. It is known that the champion who wore this was able to shift into various animals more effectively, that they were able to manipulate nature or bend nature to their will a lot easier, and they were able to change the seasons around them when they wore this.
That's pretty cool. You said northern Siri, and where else? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's rumored that this item is somewhere in northern Syria, which is why it's all green, even though it's hot. There is the evergreen forest south of Eldon. It is said that the trees here cannot burn and they never wilt. It's said that it's maybe stuck somewhere beneath there. And the third is, hold on, let me read my notes again. A distant island filled with prehistoric life, which to, I guess, Gideon, again, and maybe even Rian, just hearing stories and tales of this, that recently, within the past 15 years, a new island actually surfaced. There was this perpetual storm around it, which is still kind of there, but this island down here known as Somsertum was not previously on the map 15 years ago. People denote that there are prehistoric beings and creatures that live on this island. It's Jurassic Park.
Burner nerd. Anyways, did anything else historically relevant happen 15 years ago that Gideon might connect to Melora?
Make an intelligence check. This isn't. There's no real. Actually, make an investigation check. Sorry. Is it the same roll?
Well, no, it'd be a lot higher. Can I keep what I rolled though?
Yeah, you can keep what you rolled.
Okay, so my investigation's plus 10, so that's a 26.
Okay. So, it is known that a majority of the calamity took place in Ephira. That Siri was not really touched by the calamity too much, other than the northern part, which is why you kind of saw statues to those dragons and things in Udhas. Kind of reading mythological books and lore about the calamity. Somsertum is known to be a section of the High Reach Mountains that broke off after a great lich had this massive battle with a lich and one of the demigods. And in an attempt to basically throw everything off, kind of created their own little, what is it? They tried to break this part off so they could use it as like their layer in a sort. But that kind of doesn't really feed into these rumors that you're hearing, and you do realize that the Evergreen actually still used to be the Sunless Marsh before the corruption that took place and the Shadowfell rift appeared there. And it is said that Melora fought one of the betrayer gods here and won, and used their body to kind of enrich the land in this area. So the
That's
Evergreen, the Evergreen is leaning more towards where you believe this could be.
Cool. I guess that just leaves Sahanin, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Sahanin. So, Sahanin's vestige was found. It was found by a local fisherman inside of Sapphire Bay, which is outside of Al-Shaham in Syria. It is now a family heirloom to a great and powerful free folk lord that is rumored to be a merchant lord in Port Red Cay, in the Ashparan Archipelago. Oh, you can't. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Rand, do you plan on swearing fealty to a god anytime in the near future?
Nope. Only god I need is my oath. Mm-hmm.
Listen, sometimes it just happens, though.
True.
It could. Maybe one of you are a god and I don't even know it.
Chip, do you have something to say?
I am a god.
Oh!
Holy shit!
He's hypno-toad. He's been that the whole time.
I will say this: as you were reading about them, you do find out about a couple more. And a champion does not have to be the one wielding these.
Oh.
Anybody can wield these. I mean, there's a merchant lord quite literally wearing the ring of Sahanin. So,
oh, I thought it just looked nice. I didn't realize he could do stuff with it. That's crazy.
Yeah, these are just magical items now. They were gifted to the champions, but now they are just artifacts in the world. So as you read more, you read about Moradin, and you read about a great hammer forged of molten rock and stone. It is rumored to be the reason why there is an active volcano on an island off the coast of Dagram, but it is too hot and too dangerous to even go over there. There is Palor, which is known. It is known as the Plate of the Lightbringer. It is a plate mail armor. It was first found by the rune runners and archaeologists of the Mushrik Sun in the tomb of the first champion of Palor deep within the Sun Spires in southern Syria. The armor was on display in the college, in the Hall of Artifacts, and was stolen 20 years ago. It is rumored to have been sold to various buyers, as investigators have been spending the last 15 years searching all of Syria for the artifact. They believe it is somewhere in Afira. And with that, I want everyone to make a wisdom check. Make a wisdom check, because there are depictions of some of these armors that are actually known.
I thought you were gonna say make a perception check and like somebody's wearing it. That would be really funny.
Everyone
Wait.
slowly looks at Rianne.
Yeah.
What?
Mithril? Mithril?
Wait a second. Why did Lazarus have this?
Oh my god.
Ah, quite the story.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll help Paylor. I'll be Paylor's champion. That sounds dope as hell.
I got a 21.
15.
12.
Hold on. I'm going to message you real quick, Felicity. I just need to make sure of something.
Okay.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
Wait, the one where
In Shradina.
Finish the sentence.
Yes. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So all of you, this is not kind of, you see an image, you see a depiction of this thing, and it looks like this.
Spicy.
Enid, you're looking at it, and you're like, I swear I've seen this before. And then you remember one of the attendees of the Harvest Tide Festival. One of the individuals, younger individuals, who was making a name for themselves with their mercenary guild. One Lord Cedric Blackthorn was wearing this armor. This kid.
Aw.
Well,
I remember him.
it's a pity he has to die. That's awful.
Yeah, that is a
Exactly.
shame.
Enid's gonna like point it and she's gonna go, oh, at that festival when Ishna's bitches started attacking us. Remember that like really like that kid with like perfect skin and like wavy little blonde locks? He's like a merchant or something. No, mercenary. He was wearing that. I don't remember who he was. But you guys know who I'm talking about, right? He was young, a young adult. He was an adult, but you know.
I mean, that was an Eldon, right?
Shradina.
Shradina? Oh, Shradina. I mean,
It's the Harvest Tide
Do we
Festival.
remember?
We all talked
Yeah.
to him, so I feel like I'm trying to do a bit, not trying to actually.
no,
trying
I
to
was
funny.
just gonna
Michaela
say,
forgets.
well, I mean, do we just go talk to him and say that we have something very important and that we'll give
I
it?
don't remember
it
if
back.
he was the understanding type or if he was like the little bitch kind. You kind of get one or the other with rich bitches, you know.
Was he a little bitch?
He was.
I think
Yeah.
he
I think
was.
Chicken has.
He did slightly help you guys fight the space things, but then kind of got scared and started to run away. He's also was talking about his Order of the Black Stag, the mercenary guild that he was a part of or running. Yeah.
We could
But
go
hey, good
steal
to
it
know.
from him, but who would use this?
Looks directly at Rianne.
I mean, listen. I mean, you know, the armor I have now is good enough. However, perhaps if we could learn if this armor had an ability to shield my mind or calm my mind in some way, it seems as though I'm more susceptible to the Demogorgon in that way.
No, I mean we can go get it. I just wanted to ask because there's apparently a whole list of others that we just found here. So I mean we can shop around.
I will say, as you were reading more about it, the first champion of Paylor was a paladin.
Oh yeah, I feel like now Gideon said something a couple seconds ago and I slipped my mind, but I feel like it would work really well with my.
What did I say?
Remember you said it. The first champion of Paylor was a paladin.
Did I?
Yeah, you read that out loud just a few minutes ago.
Oh, sometimes I just read out loud to myself.
Don't we all?
No.
Well, there you go.
All right. Well, we learned something today then.
Do we learn about any others, or is that the end of the information?
Nope, you learn about 3 more.
Oh, sick. Yep. Hang on, Ryan. You might want a different one.
Is it bad? Is it bad that I just kind of feel like we should have all of them?
I feel like taking more than one sounds. I don't know. Something seems inherently unfair about that.
I don't know. I just kind of feel like
We
I
are-
want to have them all.
If we're fighting the Demogorgon, in the case of speed, probably not. But in case of strength, maybe it would be good though.
But like, it'd just be kind of cool to like have everything, you know?
If we save the world, we can still go get them.
I'm not gonna lie, that would be pretty cool,
That'd
actually.
be pretty cool.
The next one you find to read about is the champion of Bahamut, a sword, a long sword known as Dragon's Fang. This gives the wielder some of the abilities of a dragon. Allows them to breathe fire and lightning. Allows them to channel the protection of Bahamut. This is on display in the Platinum Sanctuary in Eldin.
That would probably be the easiest one to get.
we
We could
could
just
just
ask
ask
the
for
queen.
Literally,
I
I've been to
will-
prison once. What's the second time?
I will
I
say
can
that
steal it.
out of all of the temples, the Platinum Sanctuary is the most strict, and like this, especially Basil would know this.
Zealots.
This is this is basically their god on display.
Good thing I have a sister in the military and nepotism.
And we have like knight badges to let everyone know that we're a knight.
We also saved their city from a dragon. So,
Yeah.
however,
They turn invisible.
that being said, who here is using a long sword?
I could take a swing at it.
Hey, got him.
I mean,
I'm just more annoyed that there was a vestige in Eldin that I could have been looking at and researching, and I had no idea. What else do I not know about?
There's a lot of things you don't know
The
about.
next vestige, the champion of Cord. This one is unknown. Cord the Stormlord. This one is unknown, but it is rumored to possibly be the reason that Somsertum has a perpetual storm around it. This is known to be a bow that shoots lightning.
oh, well, the bow sounds really cool too.
Brienne, you can't have 3 vestiges.
I only
That's
have
all
2.
wrong.
I know. I don't even have
As I
1 right
can.
now.
Can't
I
have
mean-
3.
It'd just be kind of cool if we had all of it.
The sword is a family heirloom. I don't even think it's a vestige. It doesn't belong to a god. Just from before the calamity. That doesn't mean it's a vestige.
What's
The last one you read about.
Let me be Hanzo.
The last one you read about is known. It is very well known, actually. It is the Mistweaver bracelets, the champion of Corellin, or Corleone.
Corleone.
Corellian.
Corleone.
The champion of
Corleone.
Corleone, the Mistweaver
Corleone.
bracelets.
The Dawn.
Don Corleone.
God of elves, Toyota Corolla.
Come on down, the Corleone. We got Toyotas. All right, stop. Corellium. This is actually a pair. There is 2 of them. Each of them have different abilities, but these artifacts are said to be passed down from the lineage of the first civilization of elves by their first king of the elves, Valandor Yennefer. Oh no, Yenfina. And then Gideon, you immediately recognize that name, and it is said that these artifacts are still part of the royal family and never left the civilization of the elves. Gideon, you recognize that last name pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I will say that reading about them, they give the wearer abnormal manipulation of the arcane. They, as Corellian is the god of magic, these are very much tailored towards the weave and magic, and not so much scholarly magic, but innate magic.
Yo, Felicity, we get these, then we can have a canon Lila and Gideon crossover of them working
Hell
together to
yeah,
help
man.
Corellian.
Hell yeah.
Yo, let's
I
do
love
it.
that. Let's figure that out. Your people contact my people after the session, okay?
Yeah.
Here's some more. This is Dragon's Fang.
That sounds sick, though.
Oh, there's more art.
This is the Mistweaver bracelets, the ones that are known of.
Those are so
Bracelets, I like those. I don't know how you're supposed to hold that sword, though. looks really uncomfortable.
With your
Well, think of-
hands.
If you are
Yeah,
worthy, it works.
Oh, the dragon
Oh,
wraps
it
around your
uncoils?
hand.
I
way
like
you, That way
that.
you can't drop it.
This is the cloak of the Wild Heart.
Ooh, Ursa.
want it.
There's butterflies in it. Oh my god, and like
Ooh.
owls. Oh my god, this is so complex.
Never take it off.
You don't know about the other
Sleep in
ones.
it.
They've never been found.
Not yet.
Nuh-uh, wait. Sahaneen has.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I was like, what the fuck?
This is the Band of Twilight.
Ooh, she cute. I like
Yo, the moon.
the moon.
Da moon.
That art is all of this art is actually really sick.
No, it's awesome.
All right, fine. I'll show you the other ones because they're cool.
Yeah.
Here is Storm Thrower.
Get the fuck out of here.
See, look, I was right. It's the same.
This is
Don't shoot
this
that
is
glass
one
next to
you're not
anything
going to
else.
use in this campaign. It is a great hammer. But this is Forge
Nice.
Maker.
Cool.
Oh.
What do you mean? Perfect for your
Hey, yo,
son.
Malachite. Malachite who? Look at that.
Malachite,
Oh
what?
yeah.
You said
And
this campaign. You said this
This
campaign.
this is the Heart of Ioun.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Look at that
Hell
thing.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Gak
It
like
matches Gak's
Yeah.
aesthetic.
Gak pulls out his orb and he's like, oh.
Oh.
I will not show you and tell you. Actually, no, I'll tell you what it's called. But you're gonna probably find this one tonight. So, but you do know as you're reading of the Death Matron's diadem. The Raven
Ooh.
Queen's crown.
Sounds so badass.
A
This allows
crown?
fine.
Yeah. We didn't even ask. We were just excited. Oh
Oh my god.
Mm.
This
so
allows the
pretty.
user to manipulate shadows around them. It also allows them to it's basically allows the wearer to tamper with life and death at the same time. Where you can it is known that the champion was able to heal for great amounts and was used as one of the main clerics during the calamity to heal the forces, but also able to take down enemies as they were healing at the same time.
I call the crown.
It's a diadem.
What does
And
that
I don't
mean?
want it
What's the
anymore.
difference?
It's just another word for crown. I didn't want to use crown.
Oh, okay.
I never heard
So,
that
so
word
when
before.
Kayla said it's a crown and you
These
said no,
are-
it's a diadem, and then you just
I
said
didn't
that
say
it's the
a crown,
same
that
thing.
was someone else. I said, "What is that?" I didn't know what that meant.
These are like the whole cruxes
No.
Yeah.
that
No.
were.
By the way, a diadem is a jeweled crown.
So it is a crown.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
jeweled.
In other words, Basil's about to be really fucking cool.
We
Basil's
all are with
already
these
fucking
things.
cool.
Oh,
But
I
yes.
forgot. There's another thing that is written in the textbooks that they where the first champion of the Raven Queen also was able to fly.
Able to-
Oh.
What'd you say?
The
Fly.
first champion of the Raven Queen was able to fly during
That's
this.
sick. Do we?
Yeah.
But we don't know much about. So, like, for I guess followers of the Raven Queen, do they have any knowledge about who the first? Okay, I was thinking that. It's like
No, not in
mostly
these
lore
textbooks.
then.
And right, it is just kind of lore written in history
Mm.
of when the calamity happened, and then that's kind of just
Okay.
over time dissolved. No one knows where this is, except for you, Basil.
But I do.
Well, and the party, who know through Basil.
Yeah.
So, with that, those are all of the vestiges of diversion that are noted in lore.
Well, it sounds like since we have a pretty good idea of where the dodecahedron crown is, we should go get that one first. Diagonally. How what the fuck? What do you call it?
No, you got it that time.
Diadem.
Yeah, it's diagonally.
Okay,
We
so
should go there first, right?
Death
to get it?
matron's diagonally.
do we want to?
Sorry, John.
Do we want to just go get Basil's and then decide what order we want to get them all in, or do we want to decide the order now?
I think.
I feel like
No, please. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I feel like we're not gonna be able to just walk in and get it, so we might as well just like focus on this one, and then kind of
I
decide.
mean, we should be able. Okay, this
I
I
don't
might be
know.
crazy, but
I
we should be able
walked
to walk
in-
in and get it.
Oh,
I
Last
just
time
yeah.
Basil was there was no danger.
Yeah.
yeah, I
okay.
literally pressed a rock and then they were like, "Come in."
oh, okay. Well, then, JK, where do we want to go after that then?
Well, I mean, I guess how serious are we on the collectible thing?
That was.
I think
let's-
we should get one for everyone. I don't think we should collect them all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there
Unless
is a time
you-
constraint where we are
Yeah.
concerned about
Joe
here.
really wants this bow.
For no other reason than to fulfill my fantasy.
What about we focus on the main ones, and if we can squeeze in
if
the
we have
bow-
time.
Yeah.
Guys, we can all use the bow.
We really can't.
No, really,
but
that's not true.
Enid and Rian can use the bow.
that's true.
Is it a long bow or a short bow?
It is a long bow.
Gosh, probably one
Rian
of
can
them
use the bow.
them Ghost of Tsushima just
John wouldn't know. You can't use that reference.
We can
Wait,
all.
Enid
can all
doesn't have
use the
longbow
bow.
proficiency?
I
don't
thought rogues
think
could only use short
rogues-
bows.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You
Rian can use the
bow.
bow.
You just won't be good at it.
Yeah,
That's
short.
true.
Well, okay, well then maybe it's a versatile weapon.
Oh, you want Enid to use the bow? Okay. Well,
okay,
maybe
I'm
we
gonna
should
be
go
honest.
get
Like
the bow,
I
guys.
would, you know, I
Just
was
because
thinking
if
of
you-
two characters who would use that. Look, all of these vestiges, all of you can use except for the great hammer.
I was like,
It's
who
like-
the hell is the Great Hammer for then?
Look, I was making one for Moradin, and I was like, I feel like there's got to be a big weapon somewhere. So let's
Hey,
just get
guys.
it
No,
done.
that makes sense.
Who's
I
gonna
don't
use the
want us
orb?
to go get the bow, and just Enid uses it.
That would be funny.
That would be
That
really
would be
funny.
very funny.
Yeah, Joe thinks that's hilarious.
I will say
But
that
what
the bow is one of the more out of the way ones to go get.
Dang it.
I think the one that Gideon wants is going to be very out of the way.
Listen, I have a crown and a gun. I'm good.
I have a crown and a gun.
Wait.
S tier Basil
Which
quote.
crown yet?
queen? Sorry, I may have misunderstood. I thought Gideon's was the queen that we know has it. Am I misunderstanding?
It is. It is owned by the Queen of Isvaria.
That's not too out of the way, right?
No,
Well,
I was
they
only
are
kidding.
owned by the Queen of Isvaria.
Oh, I took you so seriously. I was like, why is that out of the way? I'm so sorry.
So there's two in Aelden. Well, we're not getting the sword. So there's one in Aelden. There's the plate armor in Shredina. There's the orb that is in the Rainbow Isle. So that one's kind of
Maybe.
maybe.
Maybe. What if we got the crown and then the Mistweaver bracelets? I don't remember what they're called.
That's correct.
Uh-huh.
The Mistweaver
Um,
bracelets, yes.
Then we could either go get the Melora one after that, or Rian's armor, because we kind of know a little bit more certain where those are. Right?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I mean
Okay.
the also Yursa's thing is probably like most likely in the Evergreen, right? That was what we.
Yeah.
hmm
That makes the most
So,
sense.
and
And
like,
Drissa can always ask as we get closer.
yeah. And then that leaves Enid and Gak. So Gax would probably be the hardest, but we can maybe do the whole like ask questions and see to narrow down the
Yeah.
locations. And then Enid's, we just have to find this. What were they? A group of bandits? Is that what they were? I kind of got lost on that one, but I know it's at the Sapphire Bay.
For the ring.
Yeah.
So not bandits. They're known as free folk, which are just
The same.
pre-pirates. They're not pirates yet.
Damn.
They're pre-pirates.
Free folk pirates.
But it is owned and worn by a merchant lord in Port Red Cay.
Okay.
Port Red Cay.
Yeah, it says Sahanin 1 above it.
Okay, okay.
So if Ioun's is on Rainbow Isle and Sahanin's is in Port Red Cay, that would be very convenient.
We'll just take the Rainbow Road.
Oh.
Take a little tropical
I
vacation.
was still all the way at the Sapphire Bay still.
Well, you were correct in a fisherman found it in Sapphire Bay, and then it kind of just moved around.
I see, I
Oh,
see.
yeah.
Ended up
Okay.
it's kind of like the ring. They found it in the swamp. They were like,
Cool.
precious.
So step 1,
Give it to
crown.
Beagle.
Step 2, bracelets. Step 3, Rian and Yrsa, whichever one we want to hop to next.
Yeah, armor,
Step
cloak.
4, Enid and Gap.
Uh-huh.
I love it.
And then Bo if we have
I
time.
mean,
And
are
both we
we
have
in
time.
Eldon? Are we in Eldon right now?
Yep.
Should we just talk to the queen now, like we're right here?
Oh, yeah.
We could just do that now.
That way we don't have to
I'm
backtrack.
fine either way. I
Since
just,
time
yeah,
is...
that would be the only reason I'm asking. Is
Yeah.
I mean, granted, we have the port glass, but
Okay.
actually, that's a
Yeah,
good
you could.
question because Basil's is in
Under Mirror Lake.
the Mirror Lake.
Yeah.
What's the closest we've been there in the past month?
Listen, we could travel via
Nowhere.
plants.
That's true. You could travel to the
Yeah.
Mallow Grove.
I speak for the trees. Oh yeah, let's
Actually,
go home.
you could travel via plants to. Has Yrsa been to Wodale?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
That
all
was my
have.
house. We jumped
Within
Yeah,
the
into
last
the
we've
month?
all been to Wodale.
Oh, didn't we also, we were working with the college in Eldon to get a teleportation circle set up in Homafort for the order.
Yeah, but those take
Those take a
those
year.
take a
year
hot
to
minute,
make, right?
Yeah, they take a hot minute.
So,
Cool. Okay. So we have our catch 'em all.
well, catch 'em most.
Catch 'em most.
What everyone else
catch
does
one
when
of
playing a
each.
Pokemon game.
Yep.
Catch them most.
So as you are in the Lyceum of Eldon, are you going to talk to the Queen? Is that the first stop?
Yeah. If
Yes.
everybody else is cool.
You
Okay.
ready, Gideon?
Yeah, getting this on you.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
freezing, so give me
Well,
one
I mean,
second.
I'm asking her to give me like a family heirloom that's been passed down. I mean, oh what?
Oh.
She said she was freezing and just left.
Mine
Buy
froze
overlay.
for a second too.
Oh, she meant freezing. I
I
she
thought
meant
you like you
temperature.
thought that where she was
I
just
was-
cold.
Yeah, I was chilly too, so I was like, well, yeah.
I'm freezing.
If
I'll
I'm
be
cool,
back.
I know she's
I
cold.
can't
That's
blame
for
you.
sure.
Okay. So
Oh wait,
you.
Oh no, Joe.
I'm good. I thought I heard Kayla say something.
Oh,
Alright.
So are we waiting for Kayla or are we still going?
This is on Gideon. I say we go.
Yeah, we're going.
Okay. Gideon's gonna ask if the party's okay with it. If he could talk to the queen one-on-one so she doesn't feel just like pressured or ganged up on. Like it can just be him and her talking.
yeah,
Sure.
that'd be fine with Enid.
Okay.
So
Gideon's gonna
a-
go request an audience.
Yep, an audience is
She'll see you
requested.
3 weeks from now. Fuck.
She's very busy. So, you request an audience, and you meet eventually with... Why can't I find it? Here it is. You meet with Queen inside of the Emerald Castle. As the guards bring you through, Gideon, you see Queen Erin Fina in front of you, as she asks you and says, "What's the pleasure to talking with you today, Gideon?"
I assume the guards are still present, or did they leave to give us some privacy to speak, or...
They're off in the corners, but they don't leave.
Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense. Much has happened since we last spoke. Part of this is merely an update, followed by a rather large request. Welcome back, Kayla.
Sorry about that. I don't. My computer is working. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
For the sake of brevity, Gideon is basically going to kind of summarize their experiences with the plane of air, Demogorgon, and just overall what has happened ever since the attack on Eldon, where obviously her efforts have been purely working to recover and rebuild. And even going into detail about, Sahanin, the battle on the moon, Enid dying and being brought back. Like, he really kind of spares no detail so that she knows exactly kind of what happened.
Yeah, she's obviously shocked when you speak of Sahanin and how the goddess of the moon has returned. As you know, everyone thinks that the goddess of the moon never left.
Yeah, it caught us off guard too.
And she asks about, is that why the moon has been the way it has been for the past couple days? You see that it takes a little bit of time for her to not calm down, but kind of digest what you're saying. You all have been very busy.
Yes, about to be busier too. Soon we'll be heading to a lake where we believe we can find a vestige of the Raven Queen. We will be focusing on arming ourselves. The Battle of Demogorgon was eye-opening. I thought that we had grown closer to his strength than we had. The fact that we all escaped that battle, even with great cost, was impressive, but we have to be stronger if at the end of the day we're going to end this once and for all.
As you do mention the word vestige, you see that she shifts in the throne and kind of puts her hands on her wrists underneath. You don't see any jewelry on her, but her garments go past like almost to right here and kind of droop down. You see that she kind of like puts her hands. I see. What would you ask of me, Lord Gideon?
I know how important the legacy of family is. You didn't meet me before I was like this. My story is a long one, and a sad one at times. I'm from the Astral Sea. I'm the last of my people, save maybe one or two others. And even though this was a overall recent revelation for me, those memories I have, the times that I was able to see when I was with my people, my culture, my society, they mean everything to me. So I understand if you cannot grant this request. I am only asking so that what happened to Eldon can never happen again to here or anywhere else. I would ask if for a time you would entrust me with those bracelets.
You see that she looks down and moves cloth back, and you see on the left arm, you see that beautiful prismatic golden bracelet. Much more beautiful than the pictures you saw. And there's this sense of almost awe as you're standing in front of a vestige, a creation of one of the gods. And she kind of moves the other one, and you see the second one. These bracelets have been given down generations, my family. I do not know how many greats, but great-grandfather, who started the civilization of the elves, granted to him and created by the god of magic, Corellin, fought during the calamity using these bracelets, and ever since they've been gifted. And each one of our generations innately tapping into the weave, all of us having magic, except me. Seems that over the generations, the tether connection to magic in my lineage has waned. These I wear as gifts, as an heirloom, but I have never and could never use them. I possess no attachment to the weave, but I do have attachment for these. And she pauses for a long while and says, the times we live in are dire, and I understand that. And I understand that if we do not stop what is coming, something far greater than the calamity will befall this world. And I know that all of you and your friends, are at the center of that defense. So your request is granted. I would ask that you keep them very safe. And I would ask in your fight, moving forward, you be more cautious. Not that you already are not, but these have not seen battle in a very long time. And should these fall into the wrong hands, we will have bigger problems. And you see her take them off, one at a time. And she stands up from the throne and walks down.
Gideon would take a knee, and he would lower his head, and he would extend his arms so that she could grant them upon him, if that's still what she wishes to do.
She walks up and grabs your left arm and places one of the bracelets on. And then grabs your right and places the bracelet on. Use these with respect. Use these to fight the evil. Use these to win. I know you will.
Gideon will stand back up. I have something to give you. And he will reach into his bag and he will pull out a thicker book and he will offer it out to her.
She grabs it.
It's nothing in comparison to what you've granted me, but I've been taking time to write down my own story. The things that I can remember, the things that I wish people knew. I'd like you to know me, really. And should the worst come, I'd like to be remembered. If you would keep that safe until I came back for it one day, it would mean a great deal to me.
She kind of holds it closer and says, I will. You will always be remembered, Gideon. You will always be remembered for the hero that you are.
Thank you.
And she kind of bows towards you. May the gods watch over you and your companions.
And you as well.
And please let us know if there's anything else we can do. This fight is not all of yours. It is everyone's.
I will. I do not know your family, but I can assure you, whatever ancestors you have, when they look upon you, they smile. Magic or no, you have always held yourself with pride and capability.
Thank you. And she bows and you bow back and you are led out into the city proper as you've acquired the Mistweaver bracelets. This is a 2-slot attunement.
Ooh, okay.
Because each one of them is separate from the other. I will tell you what they do. The items do not exist in D&D Beyond yet because I did not expect you guys to go for these first.
It was right outside the door, John.
I know, Ryan. Doesn't mean sometimes
That's fine. It's fine.
So the left bracelet, they don't have specific names, but they are a pair. Gives you arcane resonance. When you wear this bracelet, it grants a +2 bonus to spell attack rolls and spell save DCs while worn. By the way, none of these vestiges have a state. There's not an exalted or any of those kinds of states. All of these have been worn by champions before and already reached their exalted states. They are the best they can be. The second thing you get from the left bracelet is an Elven Precision. You have advantage on dexterity saving throws and charisma checks. Mystic Veil, the third ability. Once per short rest, you can cast greater invisibility on yourself without expending a spell slot. The second bracelet grants you Graceful Magic. The bracelet grants a +2 bonus to charisma and dexterity scores while worn. Arcane Affinity. The bracelets grant you resistance to force and psychic damage. And the last is Prismatic Shield. Once per day, as a reaction, when you are hit by an attack, you create a prismatic barrier around yourself. This barrier grants you temporary hit points equal to 5 times your character level and imposes disadvantage on all attack rolls against you until the start of your next turn.
John, do you remember you talked about your D&D bucket list? You've talked about it a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just granted one of mine, getting an ability score above 20. I've never done that in my D&D history.
Hell yeah. So,
Also, that's
you-
badass. That whole item's badass.
items.
Sorry, you're right. You're right.
So I will create those later on.
Yeah.
But those are the items you now have in the party. One of the vestiges of divergence, the Mistweaver bracelets.
And I will say, before Gideon left, the queen doesn't say anything, but he would also, since he wears long sleeves, he would tuck them under there, kind of like how she had them hidden. Just seems respectful to kind of wear it the way that she wore them.
And they are attunement to a sorcerer. So
that's me.
Only, yeah, that's you.
Sick.
Okay. So as you reconvene with the party, you show off the bracelets. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah. Wow, guys, look at me.
Okay. Not to do another one before the Raven Queen one, but the evergreen thing is right there as well.
So is Shredina too.
Yeah, but
I
we
will-
know where Basil's is. Like that one's a little bit more easy.
we do have
And
to
we know
search
there's no
grab.
danger
Yeah.
with hers.
That we know of as of right now.
It was just an idea, but I was like, there's Aelden and there's the evergreen place.
This is the session.
I'm
We're getting
fine
all of them.
with-
No, I'd rather go to the ones that like are not confirmed. Like danger. Yeah, less danger that we think.
Yeah.
Words.
Okay.
Before it gets dangerous, you know.
Sounds perfect. Then let's go to Basil's.
Basil.
Basil.
Let's traverse via plants.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Kiss me with to the promise. That's not how it goes, but
Hold on.
pretend I actually have that prepared.
Okay. Something. Okay. So, as you transport via plants, ow, oh,
You okay?
smashed my
Thorns!
finger in between-
Why'd you pick thorns, your
I
son?
just smashed my finger
Well-
in between my desk and the like little hand rest. Okay. So as you transport via plants, you transport to the back of Wodale, the forest that you saw behind it, one of those trees. You do notice that Wodale, that corruption is gone. It is absolutely gone, and the massive hole looks to have construction on it that the town of Wodale and maybe the government of Valamine is building something there. They're starting to lay a foundation of something, so they're covering up the hole and building something on top of it.
So are they just putting like a piece of wood over it, or are they trying to attempt to like
So
fill
it
it up
looks
with more soil?
no.
That's
So
possible.
sorry. What you see right now is a very base structure that is actually around the hole, like the actual hole itself. Like the hole is in the center, and the structure is being built around.
Gotcha.
I'll just say it. It's like I don't know if anyone knows what the yawning portal is, but
No.
I don't.
all right. Well, those who know. Yep, Joe does.
I do.
That's all that matters.
I'm glad Joe understands.
All right. And I'll miss you most of all, Scarecrow. Just say that right in front of us, huh?
Dorothy looking
Yawning
ass.
Portal was an inn and tavern in the city of Waterdeep that was renowned for being the primary open route into the Undermountain.
Wow, that's crazy that you just knew that, Felicity.
I just know things.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I just know
I
things.
drink and I know
Felicity,
things.
technically you should know that because the tavern that the Guardians of Fate went through was called the Yawning Portal. So
Well, that was session 1, and I'm sorry that was on the back burner by session 30
Wow.
or whatever.
It's okay.
Wow.
It's okay.
It's okay. So,
Hope the rest of the session doesn't get as tense
Joe
as
didn't
that
even
just got.
remember making us into dwarves. He doesn't remember that flashback session, so I don't
Now I
wanna hear
remember
it.
the
Anyway,
flashback session.
after we reminded you.
No.
okay, let's move forward with this. So, as you continue forward through the forest, you get to Mirror Lake. I would like everyone to make perception check.
I swear to God, if my perception is bad again.
Damn.
God damn it.
Okay, Gideon and
I hate that.
Yursa, Gideon, Gak. Okay, everyone except for Regan. You do notice, Basil, as you kind of walk over to the section of the lake that you needed to dive down into. Do you notice footprints that lead into the water that are fresh?
Looking at the footprints, do they look humanoid in nature or perhaps something else humanoid?
Yes.
I don't like that.
Interesting. I don't think I have detect anything.
Oh, well then Rian, you notice. All right, everyone notices.
Well, it's weird because I don't know. It didn't. It now it doesn't say it on the. But when I clicked it, it said that number. So I don't know. Weird.
I don't know. Can I like? So John, does it look like they walked straight into the water and that's where they cut off, or like they just stopped randomly and then disappear as if like they continued down? Like
Yeah,
dry.
so
Does that make
it-
sense?
Yeah, you don't see any like wetness around these footprints, and they're headed directly into where the water is. And Basil, you do remember that to get to this temple, it is at the bottom of the lake, and this is in the direction that you had to go last time.
She's gonna like motion for everybody to stop. There's someone inside. I don't know how they found it.
No one else knows that this is here, right?
No one should. It's John, this is like the oldest, I don't want to say shrine, but like
It is the oldest temple of
It
the
is.
Raven Queen.
Could it
This
be
is-
another follower?
I mean, I guess it could be, but when I was here the first time, there was no sign of anybody. There was no sign that anybody had been there.
Well, I mean, whoever's in there may not necessarily know that we're here or expecting anyone to show up, so if we all go in, at least we have an element of surprise if there's someone who shouldn't be here.
Just stay behind me. I can see if there is someone in there, maybe we don't have to resort to anything violent. I can just talk to them and see how it goes from there.
I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
There was only one set of footprints, right? It's not like multiple. It just seems like there's one person in there. You're muted, buddy.
There are multiple.
Multiple. Okay. Okay.
I was about to say, at least
I
they're
say that,
outnumbered.
but use plurals. repeat that with plurals.
We'll
Could
handle
Gideon
it.
do an
but-
investigation to see how many different footprints there are, just so we have a better idea of what we're dealing with?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or maybe we have like one person who's just
Guidance.
hopping around.
Okay, well,
Commitment.
27.
27. Yeah, you're able to tell how many there are. There's about 7 individuals.
A hobbit lay here.
Did
Thank
you
you.
know that when Aragorn kicked the helmet, he broke his toe?
Shut up!
Enid looks to Basil. Let's go in and let's handle this. If they're friendly, they're friendly. If they're not, we'll kick their ass. Simple as that, okay?
Okay. Just please stay behind me.
We will.
Right behind you.
And I guess she'll kind of give everybody one last look of this is your last chance to not continue forward, which I'm assuming no one does that. So she's gonna look around for that mechanism again. I don't remember what exactly it was, but I'm assuming she'd still remember. It's like pretty specific where you don't forget this. And
Yeah,
Rachel turns.
there was a stone that had an engraving of a raven kind of
Yeah.
hidden on it. And as you kind of click that, there is this moving of earth, which you do notice, Basil, that this was not tampered with. So whatever and whoever went down there, they went down the very difficult way.
Interesting.
As you guys notice that on the edge of the lake, this almost spiral staircase opens beneath the earth itself, leading downward.
Basil will start heading down first.
Okay. Okay. Head down, all of you together. Make it into a dark room. As you walk down the hallway that you remember, Basil, those with the will continue the perception and investigation. You can see that dust has been moved from these sets of footprints, leading further and further. And then as you kind of get closer and closer into the large room that you remember, Basil, the ruins, you can hear the dripping of the water beneath or above, as you know that you are now beneath the Mirror Lake. You start to see a very faint glow of purple and yellow flickering firelight ahead of you. You continue further and further until you reach that large ruined room that you remember, Basil.
Hmm.
And in front of you are a couple things. You don't remember specifically this last time, Basil. You don't remember these candles being alight. But there are several candles that did line the stairs and the plateau section that led to that mural of the Raven Queen that you remember. A lot of them are lit with this purple flame. 2 of them are lit with what looks like this normal flame, and then 1 is not lit at all.
Weird.
Something you don't remember last time, and as you kind of walk further in, you do notice there are bodies.
Oh, John, this wasn't crazy long ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
How
This
long
was during
ago
downtime.
was it? Right.
Like a month and a half or 2 months, I think.
Damn.
I mean, it's been a while.
And
You guys been doing some stuff, but I
these
will show you.
bodies, do they look fresh or have they been hanging out?
Oh, that was not so. With a what's I think your passive medicine is good enough. Yeah, they're definitely not fresh. At least they're not. They're it's older than a couple weeks.
Okay.
And go ahead.
Can she sense if their souls are lingering?
Yeah, as you kind of look around and kind of try to sense, you can tell that their souls are gone. You can tell, with the further investigation, all of you kind of looking around, there are 7 bodies in this room. All of them, you can see lacerations, cuts all over their bodies, stab wounds. Some of their faces are kind of gashed open. They all are kind of lining from that mural at the very end, one after another, almost like this line that one was near the mural, and then a couple feet, 2 more, and then a couple feet down the stairs, a couple more.
Who do these
all
people look like? Just like random people, or like elves, or?
Yeah, it's an amalgamation. There is an elf. There is a couple humans. It is. You can see that it is just. There's no real. What is it? Oh my gosh.
Pattern.
Yeah, pattern. However,
Does it...
the only pattern you do see is that all of them are wearing the exact same garments.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Well, Basil will step forward and see if she notices anything specific, like if they look like priest wear or...
So, all of them are wearing dark black robes, trimmed with deep yellows and gold. And there's symbols on the... All of the robes are not exactly the same, and some of them even look handmade. Well, obviously, you know what I mean. There's a symbol in each one of them in various places: the shoulder, the chest, kind of on the belt area. This symbol of what looks to be almost like 5 prongs extending out from this eye in the center. It does not depict the Raven Queen at all. And with the investigation check you have, Gideon, as you're kind of looking around, you go up to the mural that you see, and you see this mural is very ruined, very old. The stone is decaying. But you can tell it is a depiction of the story of the Raven Queen. Even though the features are kind of lackluster, you can tell that the dust in front of this mural has been kicked up a lot more than the dust that has settled around. And you can tell, looking at how their bodies are laying, that they ran from this mural down the stairs.
I don't know if Enid's the best person, but does there seem to be any significance to how the candles are lit or the purple color? Because the yellow's not abnormal. That's right, not like a special kind of yellow. It's like a normal yellow flame.
Yeah, it's just a regular flame.
Okay, so yeah, is there any significance to the purple? Does that seem to be a Raven Queen color, purple?
Yep.
Oh, okay, then maybe that's
Purple is like the main color for the Raven Queen.
So there's no other significance besides that we can pick up on?
No, you just notice that there are more of the purple than the regular firelight. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I studied this the last time I was here, but I have no idea what they were trying to do.
I imagine they're here for the same reason we are. What else is down here, after all?
I guess maybe I just assumed that this was just an important and historical place for clerics to visit. But I don't know. I haven't even heard of this place until a month or two ago.
I think that since this vestige has never been found before, I think they may have stumbled upon this or have been searching like far and wide, but maybe they finally discovered it, you know?
Looking at the mural, does it look like it could be moved, like it's covering something like a trick wall? Because you said the dust, like right in front of it, looked disturbed, right? Like something had moved.
Yeah, if you look at the mural, Gideon, make another investigation check, just because now we're kind of further into
Guidance.
this.
Thank you. Nice. And the
Okay.
D4. 23.
Yeah. So in front of this large mural, and kind of think of, anybody who's played Skyrim, the really
Never heard of
large
it.
circular door.
What
The
game?
You see the circular door that uses the claw thing.
Okay, yeah.
It's that big and kind of that shape. It doesn't have the claw thing, obviously, but it's a mural in that kind of shape. And you notice next, like at the very bottom, about an inch or two, there is where the dust has kind of kicked up more, and then it kind of like fans out forward as though something large moved, and kind of the wind of that moving kind of pushed the dust backwards. So you can tell from this mural in front of you that it's very set stone, and this is very, very hard to see. But this looks like it can move.
I mean, you're referencing the door from Skyrim. Like, does it look like there's like a puzzle element, or do I think we just need to brute force, like, push it open?
You can see on the mural itself that there is the only large depiction of the Raven Queen is in the center, and her hands are held out, and her eyes are looking down at her hands, but also kind of looking back at these candles. You sense there is a significance.
Oh, Rachel is bad at puzzles.
If Rian goes over to one of the purple candles, like one of the ones that's glowing purple, and I mean, I have like, just because it's part of like the adventurers pack, I'm gonna pull out like a little wick that'll just kind of burn slowly, and if I put the wick over the purple flame and I move it away, what color is the flame that that comes away? Is it gold like normal, or is it purple to match what I got it from?
So as you use the kit, as you put it above that purple flame, that yellow kind of blends in with the purple, and then you watch the flame actually start to turn purple itself.
Okay.
And then as you kind of move it away, it keeps that purple hue, and then slowly goes back to a normal flame.
Okay. So what if we try and do that quickly? It seems like there's one candle unlit and two that are gold. I mean, do we just want to get 3 people by them real quick and just see if maybe we can change all of them to purple?
What if Basil holds the wick?
That too, yeah.
Yeah, I could try.
Yeah, so Rian will hand her the wick and ask her to see if it maintains the purple color more.
I will also say
What?
it does the same thing when you use the wick. I will say all of these candles can be moved. They're not like set in place.
Oh.
It can be picked up and moved around.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, I guess we'll just. I mean, Rian would maybe, just because this seems like a Raven Queen specific thing, he would ask Basil to do it, to go around with one of the purple candles and light the unlit ones, and take the purple ones and see if it turns the gold ones purple.
Yeah, she'd try.
Yeah. So as you do, you do notice that as you use one of these candles, you're using the purple candle to turn the yellow ones, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So as you do that, you do notice, Basil, that as you put the purple flame in there, it does start to radiance into that yellow, and the yellow starts to turn purple, but it doesn't catch all the way. And then you have this thought of just, you kind of reach out and kind of put the light out,
Mm-hmm.
and then light it again, and you watch this purple hue change. You do feel, it's not a rumble, but you feel this like aura almost.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone, just Basil. You feel this wave over you as you do that.
Does it feel menacing or
It feels
just...
it feels positive.
Okay.
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 And you do the other one as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You do that as well. You feel that aura again. And Gideon, because you were kind of closer to where the door is, you do notice that you didn't notice at first, but the eyes of the Raven Queen statue that are looking down at her hands start to slightly glow purple. Like it's the faintest glow, but as Basil's changing the colors on these, it's getting brighter and brighter. And there's one left that is unlit, and Basil, you walk over, and I assume you like that one as well. Why can't I? Here we go. And with that, Gideon, you watch the eyes. This bright purple. All of you see in the corner of the room, this dark room, this purple light, as the statue is just looking down at her hands.
But nothing happens. Her eyes just glow.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like I need to touch it, or like...
The hands themselves are held out in this position, as
Mhm.
though they're holding someone's hands. Yes.
Yeah, I guess just try and grab the
Hand.
hands.
Basil will go to try to firmly grasp it.
Hold your mommy's hand.
Okay. And as you do, you feel this connection, this almost tether your hands to the statue, as the statue slowly looks up towards you, and it starts to recede into the stone, and you watch as the stone starts to roll off to the side, and you notice another room. A room. Yep, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as soon as that happens, Rian wants to trigger his divine sense to see if he feels anything nearby.
How far is the range?
60 feet.
Nope.
They're 61 feet away. Got him.
Okay.
So, in this next room, you see a long corridor that leads to, on the other end, a closed door. On either side are pillars, and on the bottom of each pillar is an altar with candles. There are 3 pillars on each side, and are all of you walking in?
Yeah.
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 After Basil. Basil wanted
Assuming
to.
it's safe when Basil walks in, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Basil, as you walk in and then the party follows, you notice on these 3 pillars there are murals engraved in the stone. Each one of them different from the next. Doesn't seem to be in a certain order, but you notice 6 murals. You notice a mural on the left that portrays a woman, an older woman that is determined, standing in front of a imposing figure of a creature with a long robe, a skeleton face, and what looks like a scythe, and she is standing her ground in front of this figure. You see another one to your right, of that same woman, adorned in flowing robes and ravens flying around her. You see, as you continue to walk on the left side, you see what looks like the same woman, but younger, wearing simple villager's clothes, and is in a field with a basket and a young child playing in the field.
Oh.
You see on the other side is a mural of that same woman with grief on her face as she is staring down at that child in a bed who looks to be sick. You continue to look and you see another mural that looks like the woman is depicted standing above another individual, maybe a younger woman that is cloaked in raven feathers, is being adorned. It looks like a crown. And then another one looks like the depiction of that child, a little bit older now, but alone in that same field. And you see one of the 6 candles is already lit. You see, oh wait, this. And I know they're probably hard to see, but you can click on all of these pictures.
Ooh. That's so cool.
Is this another puzzle?
What's the order?
I don't know why clicking on the pictures doesn't work for me. Is it working for everyone else?
Is it because the
Not-
game's
Game
paused?
paused.
Yep.
Oh, it's
Is it
still not
working now?
working. No.
Hold on.
Oh, it works.
Wait.
Mine works.
I can click on them, but I can't move them.
You shouldn't be able to move them. Just it should show
I
you an
think-
image.
I think we'll need to light the candles in the order
Yup.
that
Here,
they
let me-
happen.
Do this. If I put Yursa on the board, who everyone has control of,
Mm-hmm.
can you click on them now?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
No. I can see them, you know.
Well,
We got
that's
the
not
Reaper.
fine.
We
I can
got
see 'em.
the mom.
Make sure you're in on the left side, the little person symbol, and then the little
Oh.
box symbol.
Oh yeah.
Nick,
I was having the same
you're
issue.
everything. I was still on the little pencil. Thank you.
I was too.
Okay. So yeah, that's my theory right now, unless we want to RP
Put
this.
them in order.
Light
I
them.
think that's
Uh,
pretty
yeah.
spot on,
Order.
big dog.
Yeah. I think okay. The one with the lone daughter is the one that's lit.
You right.
Um
Which that's not the first step. The
So
first
that
step
should be
Right.
first.
is mother and daughter, right?
Can we
yeah,
extinguish it?
like this one.
Well, if we do we have another purple candle to light? Or is that our only option?
The door behind you hasn't closed.
I mean, so yeah, I guess we could extinguish it and then start over with some of the other candles.
I wonder if it's like they got this, if the people who died, if they got this far and then they weren't able to complete it.
They were expelled out.
That, or this is the others just happen to have gone out because that's the last one, right?
Mhm.
Is the daughter alone? So maybe they did finish the puzzle, but that's just the last one left.
Oh.
Well, anyway,
I mean, I guess we can try to blow it out. I don't think there's. Rachel, as a person, has never been good at video game puzzles. So
I love puzzles.
I love them too, and you're allowed to love things you're bad at.
That's fair.
So we could
That's fair.
either do it, blow out the candle and go forwards, or try and go backwards, starting with daughter alone. And it's already lit. Whatever we want to try first.
Let's see if Basil can blow it out. Because if it can't blow out, it has to be the first one lit. Then that might tell us what we need to do.
Mm. And maybe I got some special safety net on myself.
I will also say these candles also can move.
Okay.
Oh, so we
Oh.
could just light.
Like, light one of these.
So I guess if we pick up the last sorry, I know we just keep going back to the drawing board, but if we pick it up, and it's not, and we use it to light it, and then we place it down, it's already lit, then that is the last one.
Hopefully. Hopefully that's how it works.
Okay, we can start with that, and then we can try the blowout thing and figure shit out.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so the first one should be, if we're all in agreement, mother and daughter, if we remember the lore.
Middle left.
Yeah, it should be
Okay.
mother daughter.
So are you moving this candle to where mother daughter is, or are you lighting that while still this one's still lit?
We are moving it to use it to light all the candles in the order.
Okay.
So Basil's picking it up and lighting this one, unless Rachel has objections.
I am trusting y'all.
Okay.
I think that's the order.
Okay. Make should I let everyone make investigation or perception checks?
15.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Also, John, I don't know if you saw it, but Rhianna's going to cast Detect Good and Evil, which is active for 10 minutes, and he's just going to kind of patrol near the doorway into this place. Into this part of the puzzle.
How far is the range?
It's shorter. It's only 30 feet, but it lasts 10 minutes.
Okay. So, you light the candle underneath the mother and daughter, the first one. And as you do, you feel a rumble. And you see rocks starting to fall down above you. As you notice that above you, there's a small crack that starts to form.
Oh, fuck.
And the candle goes out.
So that's not it. Should we try blowing out? Then let's put the candle back where it was.
We could, yeah.
And then do we want to see what happens when we blow it out?
I don't have any alternate ideas at the moment.
I will say this, because you used that candle to light this one, there were two candles lit at the same time, and it seemed like that was not correct, the order. Because of your perception checks, Enid, and then Yrsa, and then Basil, this depiction, the girl looks younger than the girl in this depiction. So the young woman depicted here looks older than this young woman.
Okay, so we need to extinguish girl alone and then get the flame from another source. So that way the two candles in here aren't lit at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, wait a second though. Okay, I think I see what John was saying. Daughter alone shouldn't be the last one. It should be swear to the Raven Queen. Because that's the daughter swearing to the Raven Queen.
Yeah.
So it should be daughter alone swear to the Raven Queen, right?
Well, I guess just how old is the mural, right? Because the swearing to the Raven Queen is something that happened, like, recently, I thought, right?
Unless it's Basil's very first life, and she still ended up...
of Basil has been a follower of the Raven.
Yeah.
So that could be Basil's very first life.
I just don't know why, if our perception checks pointed that out, if we had the right order, why that's something we'd pick up on. So I feel like
Yeah,
that
then-
was told
yeah, let's
to
change
us
it.
for a reason. So, what if John?
Mhm.
I don't know. This is. What if we just pick? What if we swap the purple candle with the candle of mother and daughter together? What if we just swap that?
Okay.
Swap them. They're
So
not
I'll just
light at the
say-
same time. Yeah, you just move them.
Swap them.
Okay. And then what if Basil goes and picks up a candle from another room, and then we start lighting bitches in the order that we think?
I will say when you move the candle over, there's no rumble.
Okay, cool. So the first one should be right.
Okay.
So then, if we still feel confident about sick daughter next, which I think is next, we would do sick daughter
Yeah.
right across.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, shit. No rumble.
And
then
then,
confront death.
yeah, it should be chit chat with death, which is this one.
No rumble.
Cool. She is now Raven Queen,
Yep.
Goddess Divine,
No rumble.
Girl Alone.
Girl alone.
As you light that candle, there's no rumble.
Oh, thank God.
You son of a bitch.
And then the last one.
That was
Okay.
really funny.
Okay. As you light the last one, there is a rumble. But not above you. You look across and you see that doorway open. You see another room.
Good job, team.
Good job.
You
I
guys
did
are so
nothing.
smart. I didn't do anything either, but we looked good doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
Rienne, as the party continues to walk down, you notice at the end of that 30 feet, there's a detection. And before you can call it out, you notice, all of you, the lights in the room, complete darkness around you.
Ooh.
Man.
As you get,
Are the
Go ahead.
candles extinguished too?
they are not. They're the only source of light you can see, and they only give off about 3 feet of light. So in front of you, you cannot see at all unless you have Devil Sight. This is magical darkness.
Ooh.
Since
I have
or
the
the ability
light
to see in.
cantrip that I could try and cast, but I feel like the darkness will overdo the light cantrip.
since Rian was paying attention when that happened, after the lights go out, would I get one thing to do?
Yeah, I would say yes. You do. You do.
All right. Lights go out. Darkness envelops us. I'm going to use one of my 2 third-level spell slots, and I'm going to cast, as an action, Daylight.
Oh shit.
Nice.
Okay.
Does that get rid of magical darkness?
If any spell's area overlaps with an area of darkness created by a spell of 3rd level or lower, the spell that created that darkness is dispelled. So,
No one upcasts darkness.
Yeah, I'm like, darkness
No
is
one
second
does.
level.
It doesn't do anything.
Okay.
Until today.
I will say it will dispel the darkness, but all of you are in a confined room, and daylight creates very bright light.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you do this, the entire room lights up again. However, all of you kind of wince as the daylight spell is nearly blinding all of you. You cannot look in the direction of this. You're kind of having to look away. And you do hear some sort of creature voice just and you kind of try to look around. Make a perception check, Rian, with disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
All right, no need to roll again.
So, as the daylight spell is cast, what level is daylight?
Third.
Okay. You all hear this voice as you were kind of trying to walk towards this door, and you hear,
You are not worthy of the gifts of the matron. You all will die in her tomb.
and anybody with a past perception of 20 or higher hear this. And you do notice that the daylight is creating this bright light, but there are these little alcoves on every single one of these columns that the light is creeping around, but it's not engulfing everything. Anybody who wants to, anybody with a perception check of, what did I say, 20 or higher?
Yeah.
You see this green, almost ghostly light kind of shoot from one column to the other, and it's starting to get closer and closer. And you hear again,
Unworthy, you will not leave this place.
and you hear as you hear this like metal starting to be unsheathed.
Do we have time to like take an action or?
I would say at this point, yeah.
Gak is gonna cast True Sight.
Nice.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty sure allows you to. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure True Sight allows you to see magical darkness.
Does it? While this is happening, sorry. Can we tell where the voice is like originating from, or no?
Yeah, down the hallway. It looks like behind you down the hallway, and it is kind of dodging back and forth between the crevices of the columns where there's slight darkness.
So I couldn't dispel magic anywhere in particular.
Not in particular. I mean, right now, the magical darkness that was affecting all of you is dispelled. Because
Okay,
of
I guess I was
daylight.
just thinking like maybe if this person. Okay, I see.
What
No
about
worries.
dispel evil and good? Would that
What's
do
that?
anything?
What does that do?
So it's here.
Also, I will say,
You have-
Rian, daylight dispels magical darkness, right? That's what it says. So you don't need to keep daylight up unless you want to. You don't need to. It was dispelled.
Okay.
But
I mean, is it just like when
profit.
you turn the lights on in a dark room and there's like a brief thing
No.
of
This
sensory?
daylight is like almost the sun is inside of there with you.
Yeah.
So it's blinding everyone. The light is very bright. It's like staring at the sun without the, hurting your eyes.
Okay, yeah, I'll dispel it.
So Rachel, for dispel evil and good, this is the one we kind of talked about. You would have to make a melee spell attack and so you'd have to be able to touch the creature. So it might be good to use once we know what it is to see if
What
it is
it is
effective against
specifically.
it and when you're actually in range to use it. So
I want to cast Spirit Guardians.
is there a
I think-
specific wait. Not to tell you how to play your character, but is there a specific thing the Raven Queen's given Basil at this point that you can just flash and be like, bitch, what do you mean unworthy?
Wasn't there a
I mean,
feather that you got?
The feather that Basil gave to Enid.
Enid's got the feather, so I guess she could whip it out of her pocket.
Is it
and do it. It's a gift.
Yeah, Basil will dive for it.
Yeah, she'll hand it over to you.
I will say,
Basil-
this is all happening as you're trying to grab the feather, the magical darkness is gone. As you dispel daylight, all of you kind of wince and kind of look, and you see now that the daylight is gone, no longer dodging in between the columns, you see this ghostly figure with this bluish white hair kind of trailing behind, this adorned with this beautiful but also it's almost rotten looking armor, pale blue face, pale white blue face, and you do notice Gak Yursa, I believe your passive is higher than a 21, right? For passive perception. I know Gak's is. What's yours? No, 20. Okay, so Gak is the only one who notices this because
sorry,
of the
I was
speed.
muted. Apologies.
okay.
Yeah, 20.
There are symbols of the Raven Queen on this armor. As you see this large sword, as you see this individual.
Oh.
As now they are rushing straight at you, as again he says,
All of you are not worthy of the gifts of the Raven Queen, the mother of death.
and he continues to run towards you. Basil, you grab the raven feather, and what do you do?
She's gonna lift it up and hold it out in front of her, between them. And then she's gonna say, "What makes you decide that we are or not worthy?"
As you do that, Basil, you were in front,
Yeah.
and the sword comes up towards you, directly towards your throat. And as soon as you hold it up, the sword stops right at your throat. And you see this wind kind of stop as the speed of this creature, this individual, stops in place as the blade is held right underneath your throat.
We come in peace. I promise.
You see the individual looks at you, looks at the rest of the group.
How do you have such a relic?
I'm her daughter.
You
The
see
one
for a
from these murals.
You see for a slight bit of just kind of looking at you, Basil. And there's almost this connection, Basil, of like, you can see and talk to spirits. This person looks like a spirit, but on the border. But there's also this, you feel this connection of divine energy. And you almost kind of recognize this person like you've met them in a past life before. As the blade, you immediately see quickly gets sheathed, and this individual kneels down on the ground after realizing and says,
I apologize for my transgressions.
No. And she's gonna quickly, like, wrap her arms around his forearms and, like, pick him up. You don't need to do that. And don't apologize. You're just doing your job. Have I met you before?
In a past life. I do not remember much. I remember purpose for now. Protect the tomb of the champion until their return.
Well, it's nice to see you again. I'm back, I guess.
you see that
And
this...
I'm assuming they all can, like, hear this going down too, right?
Yeah.
Can they hear them talking? Okay.
Yeah. You see the individual kind of stand up and look at you.
Welcome back, champion.
Hi.
The job here is done.
and almost in an instant, you watch the spirit and the door behind you. You notice there was this slight etherealness to it. That archway, the etherealness kind of dissipates. Seemingly that this individual's main purpose was to protect until it was time.
Oh.
I'd say for anyone, well, no, Basil, you would know this because of you are a follower of the Raven Queen and you've kind of studied up on this. This is what is known as a revenant, someone that there are certain scenarios in which the Raven Queen grants someone one last purpose in the world before, so they can fulfill. Most of the time, it is in favor of the Raven Queen. But yes, this was what is known as a revenant that has been here for you don't know how long.
That's so sweet, though.
Door behind you is open.
Basil's gonna kind of motion for them to follow her, and she'll start making her way to the door.
Follow.
Follow me, everybody.
You do notice, Basil, as you get to the doorway, there is engravings at the top, and anybody who can speak Sylvan
That's me.
can read this.
That's me.
The old tongue of the
Not
elves.
me.
Ellie baby, Ellie baby.
Hey,
It says above, Tomb of the First Champion.
Oh.
Let's see.
And as you
What's-
walk in,
Two
go ahead.
of the first champion. Sorry, I guess Felicity's trying to connect the lore because this is interesting. So, is this Basil's first life? His body, vessel, fucking in here? Sorry, I guess we can wait. Sorry.
Wait, is that what that is? This is so meta, if that's what that is.
I guess we should find out.
Right, let's like actually figure this out.
So as you walk in, you see a single chamber with an arched ceiling and a glass dome at the top, but you can tell as the light is hitting it that is below the water. You can see the reflections of the sun through the water, through this glass dome. Pillars on either side of the braziers that were not lit, but as soon as you walk in each brazier, and you see in the center is a large sarcophagus, a large stone coffin, and there's Sylvan written on the coffin as well.
I read it.
It says, "Here lies Cassandra Alanthor, daughter of Delilah Alanthor, first champion of the Raven Queen."
Oh my god. Basil reads that out to everybody after she has like a slight little, oh my god, this moment.
Enid's gonna go up to Basil for clarification and say, were you a champion or just a follower of the Raven Queen in all of your lives?
She didn't specify. She said that I always found her.
It said daughter of the champion, right?
No, it said daughter. It said,
Daughter.
"Here lies Cassandra Alanthor, daughter of Delilah Alanthor, first champion of the Raven Queen."
Is
Oh,
this
okay.
John, do you remember when Basil first came here and figured out the last name? Or was it the first name?
It was the first letter of the first name.
Which was D, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I came here the first time, her name was originally written on one of the murals back at the center. But I couldn't read it. I could only figure out what the first letter was, and it was D. And then I talked to Lady Gemcloak, and she told me that she could tell me my mother's name. I mean, I told her no, because that's dangerous for all of us and my mother, so I told her I didn't want to know, but I feel like this would be a crazy coincidence if it wasn't. Basil's going to try to reach out to her mom. I don't know if it would be easier to do so in here specifically.
As you attempt to reach out, you can tell that there is a strong connection.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell there is a connection, but you can also ascertain that because of Sehanin's return and the strengthening of the gates, as I said earlier, the communication between gods and mortals is definitely getting weaker.
But she can still hear me, right? She just may not be able to respond.
Yes.
Okay. Basil in her head is going to read out what that says. And then she goes, I understand if you cannot respond, but I'm in this place where I first saw the story of us, and I'm in the champion's chamber, and I think it's me, which is really weird. I don't know how I'm just going to ignore that part for a second, but I don't know, does the name Delilah, is it Alan Thor or Alan Thor? Can't remember.
Alan Thor.
Does the name Delilah Alan Thor mean anything to you? Or the name Cassandra?
You get you get a feeling of it's a slight feeling of Delilah. You remember that the Raven Queen told you that even she had forgotten her name.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say Cassandra, there is a strong feeling that she definitely remembers that.
Oh. I think that's me. And you're Delilah. We're Alan Thors. Is Alan Thor a common last name, John? Is it like... No?
No, it definitely, I mean, it seems like an old, obviously an older name, from a different time period.
Mm-hmm.
You've never met another Alan Thor.
Yeah. Basil turns to look at the party. I'm positive this is me. The story is exactly the same as she told it. And she, motioned back to the murals. This was her and my beginning.
How does Basil look when she's telling the party all this?
You can tell that she's like not dissociating, but there's just so much information now trying to compute in her brain. And she looks just kind of overwhelmed with the information, but not stressed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it looks like she's taking it a lot better than maybe someone would.
Yeah.
But yeah.
After she's done saying all that, Enid will like take her hand and say, "Is that where the diadem is, you think? In there?"
I guess that would make the most sense.
Do you want to do that alone, or do you need help? Because we're here.
What if I'm ugly?
Basil, you are the most beautiful soul. There's no way there's been any version of you that's ugly.
I don't know, these murals are really faded.
Also, you probably are decomposed in there, most likely, so
That's true. That's true.
we really wouldn't be able to get a good idea.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's see my dead body.
So, are Enid and Basil trying to push this thing?
Does Basil want to do it alone, or does she want help? Because Enid would happily help, but
I doubt she can. Girl's not strong, so I doubt. If she's like Rachel in this moment, she'd be like, "Yeah, I can do it myself," and then proceeds to not be able to physically.
I mean, Enid would help. She's not the strongest either, but
I'll say Basil, yeah, you go to push it and it does not budge, and then you realize you need physical help to open this thing.
Yeah.
It is a strong stone slab on top.
we may need a group. Of
I
people.
need more hands. Be careful where you push. You might fall into myself.
I can just pick it up if you want me to.
That also works.
Gin's gonna use telekinesis to lift the lid.
It's more than no, I'm just kidding.
It's over 1,000 pounds. Holy hell, what's it made out of?
So, I mean, stone, but
some dense ass stone.
Isn't all
1,000
stone
pounds.
dense? So as you lift it up, as you kind of place it off to the side, you do look inside, Basil, and anyone who's nearby. You see a skeleton adorned in dark raven feather armor, both hands positioned on the chest, clasping what looks like a rusted sword. Around the neck is a necklace with a pendant of the Raven Queen symbol, and around the skull, out of everything else, is a pristine diadem of black and purple jewels and raven feathers.
Without thinking too much, Basil just starts like pulling this shit out, like without a care. And then she like pauses and this isn't considered stealing when I'm just taking back what is mine, right?
No, I wouldn't call it stealing. You're really comfortable holding your own hand, though.
It's oddly comforting.
I'm glad about that.
So
I will
she's
say,
like,
Basil is like, you kind of grab the armor, it does kind of like fall apart in your hand.
Oh, yeah.
Everything in here is so old, and
she
except for the diadem.
History
she
just
is
evaporates.
so cavalier about this. Y'all are probably like, it'd be like she's at the Goodwill and she's just pulling stuff out of one of the bins to see what she wants. And just imagine
Amazing.
everything like getting destroyed, but she's like, oh, sorry. And she like keeps pulling it.
Okay, before the skeleton got destroyed, Felicity really wanted to know if that was what kind of skeleton it was. Because I wanted to know. Was she a halfling? Like, what was it?
It looks human-sized. It's not a halfling or a dwarf. You can't tell really. Other than, it's all skeleton. So she was either one of the medium-sized humanoids.
And there's
Okay.
no tail, so not tiefling.
There's no tail. Nope. There's 2 horns. To the I mean, she's depicted in the
Yeah, it's
murals.
supposed to be like an elf or a
Human.
human. Oh,
Human.
human.
Okay. So Basil, you grab the diadem, the Death Matron's diadem, a vestige of divergence, owned by the first champion of the Raven Queen, which just so happens to be your first life in this world.
Basil's
As-
like, I stay winning.
As you kind of hold it there, it feels odd, but it also, this definitely feels like it belongs to you. Like it is a lost piece of jewelry you had years ago, which you did. And as you kind of look back and look at the murals and look at the tomb around the decorations, you can tell that, lost to time, this was what you were told the first temple of the Raven Queen, but it was also the resting place of the first champion. Long ago, during the calamity, and shortly after. But you've retrieved the vestige.
Nice.
Gideon, you hold or wear another. You have the location of a couple more and the vague idea of where some of them might be as well. As you plan ahead to continue on your path of finding these very powerful items on your journey to eventually fight and kill the Demogorgon. That is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Woo!
Doo-doo-doo-boo.
Woo! Woo! Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. We will see you in the next one.